Hello and welcome to the Dominion Daily or Daily Dominion for Dominion Daily, I think, whatever, for November 10th, 2024. We got shelters. Looked like we had a 2-5. Grotto, that's a good 2 cost to open with. Vampire, that's a good 5 cost to open with. So that's looking promising. There's also Borrow. Okay, well, probably not something we're actually going to do in the opening, but... oh, look, it's Breppert. Amazing. How do I recenter this? Okay. So... what are we ultimately trying to do here? We can get a bunch of highways... but there's not really other draw, so we definitely want to get thin. Bat will help with that. Highways will also allow us to gain provinces with Vampire eventually, so that's notable. Yeah. Grotto should help us with like the sort of... what do I want to say? You know, when you have no actual draw in your deck and you just have a bunch of cantrips, if you hit a certain number of stop cards, then you stop being able to get through to the rest of your cantrips because, you know, you like can't actually increase your hand size, so you run into like 5 stop cards, you're done. Grotto on the one hand drops that number to 4 because it's one of the stop cards, so it's 4 other stop cards. But it also means that at the beginning of the turn, you discard a bunch of cards, and you draw a bunch of cards, and now you have a larger hand size, so you have more like space to find your highways. So I do think Grotto is pretty key here in that respect. I guess I'll stop blabbering and grab a Grotto. There's also Stonemason. That's interesting. We are going to need stuff to feed to the bat if we're going to like continue to use that throughout the game. So we might actually want to be gaining Stonemason now and again for that reason. Silvermine. Whoa. Oh, the other thing we should be thinking about is like plus buys. There's plus buy from Bauble, there's plus buy from Storeroom. Storeroom could be our terminal. So we can get gains from Vampire, from plus buy, also from Altar. So the Altar could also be the terminal. Altar requires that we have a card to trash, so like maybe Storeroom is actually better in the long term, but we might still end up wanting to pick up an Altar along the way. Anyway, so we've got a bunch of crud down here. Hopefully we can still afford like another Grotto, but I guess the question is, should we borrow? We're going to take a highway off the Vampire, that much is clear. Like we could just grab like a Grotto or a Bauble. A Grotto and plan to, if we hit 2, get a Bauble is not ridiculous. If we want a Storeroom, this could be the time to get it. It's not a very appealing card like right at the moment, though. Yeah. I think a second highway right now doesn't actually do a whole lot because we don't have any plus buy in our deck. So that would be the argument for going with like Storeroom or Bauble. I wonder if Bauble is just better than Storeroom anyway, because Bauble makes a coin and Storeroom does not. It might be. I mean, it's not exactly strong, but it's But I think we take Grotto before we take Bauble anyway. So I think we're going to go with Grotto, number 2 here. Diluted. Okay, well, given that the AI is opening, I'm not sure how relevant that is, but I guess we'll see. Oh, I forgot we have Necropolis. Would we actually want to hang on to Necropolis, though? All right, in the meantime, the question is, do we care enough about getting a Bauble? Get a second Silver Mine. Okay. Do we care enough about getting a Bauble that we want to just set aside 2 cards, or do we just set aside 4? I think we're going to set aside 4. I think we'll have time enough for that later. All right. Now maybe we set aside 1, 2, 3, 4 and take a Bauble. Seems reasonable anyway. I forgot to look at what they did on turn 4. Now I can't look. It's so annoying. Okay, so we could gain an altar here. Even though I think maybe ultimately we don't end up keeping the altar around, I think it's good enough to pick up. And I'm talking about with Vampire. If we set aside 3 here, we can still buy a highway. We could set aside 4 and borrow for a highway. That's like, versus not setting aside, it's kind of whatever. But oh, do we want a second Vampire, I guess, is the other question. I mean, it would help us thin faster, but I'm not actually sure how impactful that is. I mean, like, if we're going to get a second Vampire, I feel like then maybe we shouldn't get the altar. Right? It's like just a different way of gaining 5 costs. Either way, you're getting a 5 cost and you have to you're getting a 5 cost and you have to trash something. Either way, altar takes up terminal space, but we can afford terminal space. Vampire, like, and altar thin at basically the same rate. They're overall pretty similar cards. Vampire attacks. I guess Vampire only has to trash at half the rate if it wants to, which is. But if you're getting 2 vampires, then it's the same rate. I mean, the other thing is if you don't have Vampire, in theory, altar doesn't have to trash. Like, if you get everything else out of your hand, but relevant is that we're going to be playing with Bauble, so. I think the fact that Vampire attacks is the thing that's like pushing me here to think, yeah, maybe we don't bother with altar and we just get. I guess altar does enable the gain and play in theory, but that's really not very important. Yeah, I think I am going to set aside 4. We're going to go coin and do we want to favor? Do we want to top deck? City state would be more useful with altar. That's an argument for altar, actually, because we can alter midturn altar into highway and then play highway. We need favors to do it, but I think I'm down for that actually. So yeah, let's do borrow for highway. We're not going to play this one. And then we're going to get an alter. Oh, we could play it now, though. That's interesting. Is that better? It's just getting another highway into the deck right now better than being able to reactively play a highway. Huh. I don't know. We could also use it to gain a second vampire right now. That's not crazy. You know what? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so 2 highways in play. We can buy free stonemasons if we want to. We probably do. We probably go stonemason for 2 highways, although I'm not going to be able to set aside very many cards if we do that. Maybe that's okay. I guess we can still set aside... No, only 2 if we're going to play the altar. Right. Then we have 2, and we borrow for stonemason for highway. Yeah, I think that's fine. All right, borrow. Stonemason. Highway. Oh, we didn't have plus buy. Should I take in a plus buy instead of the favor? To get another bauble. No, I don't think so. All right. Oh, we didn't draw our... Grotto. That's unfortunate. I think we alter the Overgrown Estate because we want to be able to trash bats. Although, I guess we already had the stuff that we needed, but... time for another bauble, I guess. I mean, we could borrow for a highway, but I don't think we need to at this point. Yeah. Yeah, we could have a rough turn or two here. Wait, they did gain a highway? Gain 2 highways? Why? What are they doing? All right, 2 storerooms. What? Huh. Okay, I kind of think... Well... Alright, I see a couple of options. One is... we just grotto the necropolis and buy the last highway. We don't really need another highway, I don't think. This should be the first... 1 highway. 2 highway. Do we have 7 highways? I mean, I guess 8 highways is better, but it's not... It's probably not necessary. However, hmm. The favor also isn't really doing anything here. Now that, well, I mean, I guess being able to gain a storeroom, I don't know. If there's only 4 grottos left, how many grottos does the AI have? What? All right, I think it's a tough call, but I think if we're like piling out on provinces, right? Having the 8th highway does have some impact. However, I don't think it has enough of an impact. I think we just do this. We don't borrow. We already have 2 baubles, so we have 3 buys. We have 2 vampires. We have an altar. We have plenty of gains. I think we just get our deck set up going into this shuffle. Wait, what? They borrowed to buy nothing? What? And yeah, what? All right. So yeah, now we draw all the things. We could actually set aside highways with Grotto here. It's not crazy. Wait, we don't have another bauble? Oh, we have stuff in the discard pile. Never mind, never mind. Okay, right. Okay, never mind. We're not going to set aside highways. And we didn't draw the bauble. Great. All right. Well... Well. I mean, if we get a little bit thinner, which we won't quite be able to manage this turn, but... Like, we could... What we could do is set aside the vampires. We could buy the last highway, set aside, and maybe a bauble. Well, the bauble, I guess... I guess what we could do is alter into storeroom. We'd need to grotto first, but yeah. What I was thinking is we could set aside the vampires, right? Rather than playing them now. Wait until we're ready to end the game. What does getting a storeroom accomplish here? I guess is the question. So we can discard. We presumably have copper bauble down there. There's only 1 copper in the trash. That's crazy. No, there's 3. I see. I cannot. These numbers are too subtle. I can't deal with it. And we've trashed all 3 of them. I'd believe that. Right. So. In theory, if we were going to have a storeroom and an altar in our deck and we wanted to play them both, we would need to keep the Necropolis, but we could also just... Oh, wait, we can't city-state... We don't have a second favor, so we can't city-state a storeroom this turn. Okay, so never mind. I mean, we could do it with a vampire, but that's... So, probably... I mean, we probably keep Necropolis over copper because we don't need money anymore. So we set aside Necropolis Copper, double Vampire, alter Copper into Highway. We play Bauble Copper, and do we buy anything? That's the question. I mean, if we're willing to, like, getting more grottos would, like, enable, like, we could try to set up a Megaturn ish thing if we got more grottos. These piles are low enough that might be, like, risky. Wait, but we can't Stonemason overpay for something that costs 0. We can't actually use that to empty. 2 baubles, regular buy, 2 vampires, and an altar is already 6 gains. If we take 6 provinces, I mean, we should just win. So I think we just let the favor so that we have the option for that. I guess we can take buy. It doesn't really matter. Because of the Stonemason thing, lowering grottos arguably doesn't matter. 2 grotto set asides. I don't know. Maybe we should actually just buy a province here. Like, is there some world where they can empty piles? Stonemason for grotto twice, gain 4 baubles and an estate. Well, I mean, they can gain 2 baubles off of Silver Mine, and they are going to be drawing 5 cards. It's just their deck doesn't have very much good stuff in it. But I mean, getting 1 province now is not going to hurt us very much, if at all. So I think I'll just do it. All right, gaining those baubles. Oh, okay, only 1. Oh, no. What? It's like they're trying to pile out even though they're losing? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. I also, that thing from the previous turn was also wild, of course. Anyway, well now, okay, so what would us winning this turn look like? Oh, we have the gains to do this without even needing to worry about the Stonemason thing, assuming we can draw our vampires, which I guess is no guarantee. Oh, the problem, we can't Stonemason overpay for grottos if we get Stonemasons to 0. So we'd have to stop right here. And Stonemason overpay for grotto barely helps, but it does help. So, let me see. I mean, I guess the problem is going to be the money, right? Even at like a 1 cost. Yeah, probably not worth worrying about too much. We got to 1 vampire. Okay, so alter, vampire, bauble, bauble, buy. That's enough to win the game. Yeah. Right. Alter, vampires, 2 baubles, bauble, bauble, and regular buys 3 grottos. Yes. Okay. Well, I guess we can set aside this province. Whatever. Right. So I don't know what the AI was doing here. It clearly wasn't good. Seemed to want to have all the baubles. Yeah, I don't know. I would have been interested to see what would like what would things have looked like in something more like a mirror, or at least like something where like things were more competitive. I would have been interested to see how it would have played out if like if it could have made sense to like have basically it's like, okay, so the highways are empty, maybe the bubbles aren't so low because nobody's gaining silver mines or whatever. Would there have been an opportunity to like get another grotto or two and like build up like set asides, so then you like you basically like take a turn or two where you just don't do really anything and then you mega turn. Like, is that possible? I mean, I say baubles aren't low, but you would need the gains potentially. Like, I mean, I had the vampires, had the altar. Like, obviously those are some of the gains, but you would need gains from something. I mean, I guess it could be, you know, you could get more vampires. Getting more altars doesn't really make a lot of sense. You could get more vampires you didn't play until the end, I guess, just as easily as bauble. So maybe, you know, whatever that about that. But yeah, one way or another, like you'd have to add more stop cards if you wanted to like truly like empty the provinces. But then, like I said, if you get like 6 provinces, that's probably good enough. And so 6 provinces, like you have your main buy, then you have like altar, vampire, bauble, bauble. That's 5 stop cards. I mean, in theory, if you trash out everything else, that's good enough. The reason I hadn't trashed out everything else is because I stopped playing the vampires. I guess it's possible that maybe I should have played one of the vampires, like, or maybe not with the way things played out because of what the AI was doing, but like, you know, maybe I would have needed to play one of the vampires one more time in order to get thinner, so that the coppers and the necropolis weren't acting as those stop cards. But then again, maybe there wouldn't have been time, right? Maybe it would have been even less time against like a more competent opponent and would have, you know, needed to take a different line entirely. I'm not really sure. But it is interesting. Like, I haven't really run into, and this isn't, like, this is sort of borderline, but I haven't really run into like a proper like grotto megaturn before, I don't think. But yeah, it's interesting to think about, and I would have liked to see see it actually happen. But yeah. Anyway, overall, definitely like one of the least impressive showings of the handful of games I played so far against the AI. Like, I don't know what it was doing in general, and the time where it like borrowed and then didn't buy anything, I don't know. Like, I assume I'm trying to think like how it could, like, does it have like some heuristic where borrow is like generally appealing, but then it like doesn't actually want any of the cards that it can afford after it borrows? Like, what is going on there? Like, I don't know. It's so wild. I'm gonna double check that is what happened. Resolves grotto, plays grotto, buys borrow, and then they shuffle their deck and draw 4 cards. Yeah, so that's totally what happened. Wild. I know that the way that the AI, like, you know, approaches the game is not the way that a human would approach the game, and but it's still really hard for me to fathom like how you could be going down like a decision tree where it's like, oh, I want to go down the branch where I use borrow because I don't know, like that lets me do anything. And then it's like, oh, but I don't want to do any of these things. Like, then why? Like, what? So yeah, that's yeah. The AI has done some impressive stuff, I would say. Like, I mean, not impressive on the level of like a truly top Dominion player, but impressive relative to what my expectations were, or yeah, something like that. But yeah, this was just it sort of tripping over its own feet, falling on its face. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.